So, this is the first in the series of pre-recorded video lectures starting at week 9 for Intro to Ethics. At this point in the course, we've gone over primarily normative theories of ethics, that is to say, ones that try to give us a set of guidelines or a guiding principle, a singular guiding principle, under which we consider morality. But we've reached a point where we see, if it wasn't already clear before, that this sort of idealization of reason, as it were, as something that is pure and untainted and can lead us to clear moral certitude in our decision making, is flawed, right? And in this series of lectures, we're going to discuss those flaws, right? So to recap, where we left off before was with John Rawls' social contract theory, his idea that morality, principles of justice, can be determined from behind a veil of ignorance, right? Where we leave aside all preconceived notions of right and wrong, things like ethnicity, basically everything that deals with our own individual lived conditions, to arrive at general principles of justice, universal ones, that we can then use to create a fair and just society, a moral society. The problem with this veil of ignorance is that we do not think about justice or morality more generally from an uninvolved position, which is precisely what the veil of ignorance is. Whenever we do any moralizing, what we're doing is making value judgments. Right? We're saying, I value this, I value over that. Right? I value this in this case. Right? And such judgments are bound together with our own lived experiences and circumstances. Right? It's not as though these principles matter or really have any force outside of situations in which they're applied. It's like the rules of chess. The rules of chess would mean nothing other than a general structure for the game outside of actually playing chess. So as such, like those rules of chess, moral reasoning is never pure, right? It is an exercise in interpretation, or hermeneutics, to give the formal term for it. Right? And in fact, this hermeneutic interpretation, as you would do when you see a chessboard and you judge what pieces are best to move, right, is something that is present in all of our thinking, not just our moral thinking. So what we're going to do in the next couple of lectures is look at the various ways in which, or not the various ways, but the way and the general structure of how we interpret what's going on around us. Basically, how our thinking is hermeneutic in nature. Right? And we're going to do this from the viewpoint using the model of prejudice, which is the most clearly morally relevant form of hermeneutics.